It is going to be Dragonshire, a big favorite for both of these teams going into this map. And a huge cheer from the crowd as this map is announced. It's a big favorite in Korea.
Yeah, a fantastic map in general. I think everyone loves to play on this map. Another kind of big 3-lane sort of map. The objectives come on pretty early, but it's kind of hard to cap both shrines and then the middle Dragon Knight. It just doesn't happen. It's so hard to hold everything at once unless you win like a big convincing team fight early on.
Sure, or if you just have a massive, massive lead, and so one of your tanks can just 1v2 on one of the shrines to hold it so you can grab mid or something like that. But it's one of those maps where we don't see the objectives taken all too often. It's really important in the late game. The mid game, you can get a lead from it. But this map just kind of plays out as if it's just a 3-lane map with no objective. Obviously, the objective is important, right?
Sure.
It does lead to a lot of big fights.
Yeah.
But it's not like the Blackheart's Bay, for example, where everything is all about the turn-in.
Yeah, it just comes online. It becomes a lot more apparent and important later in the game because the Dragon Knight does scale in the late game as well. So the later it gets, the stronger he is, the easier it is to just destroy the core.
Well, look at MVP Black's results here on this map, 2-1, but DK definitely the better team, 4-0 on the map. And you can see some of these stats on what camps they took down there as well.
That's interesting.
I'd love to translate those for you guys, but I can't do it fast enough on that screen.
Yeah, you're fine. Having a look at this magnificent venue. So many people have turned up here. I'm loving the stage as well. It looks beautiful.
It's incredible. So many fans here today. And we're going to jump into now our Game 2 picks and bans.
That's right. Let's see if MVP Black changes it up. See if they're going to ban out Illidan, maybe Abathur, maybe they're going to change their mind about how that whole thing went down. And I feel like that Zeratul pick just didn't do anything for them. I kind of got the impression, I got the idea why they wanted to do it though. I mean, they did burst damage. They needed the burst damage for Illidan if they could catch him out. They did a couple of times, but still just not enough to really build momentum for them and take back the game.
Sure. Just another look at our incredible stage as we saw the map unfold on the actual stage itself. It still is behind us. Now, first ban, of course, will go to Black. This is DK's map pick, and they're going to insta-ban Jaina, taking that away.
All right. Well, not a bad choice there. Jaina's such a powerful hero.
Crazy Moving is out of control.
He is insane on that hero.
So, Mong and Crazy Moving, 2 of the non-Black players that, have used this hero to great effect. I believe Crazy Moving is something like 9-1 or something on Jaina, is something absurd.
She really is like the highest tier pick for a ranged assassin everywhere in the world at this point. Just so popular, so much burst damage, and then that late game AoE.
There's a Sonya ban again from DK.
Okay, all right. I was expecting that, and there's that Uther pick up from MVP Black.
Now, Johanna, for those on the internet.
I was never going to correct you, Wolf.
Is definitely a highly contested pick, and likely what we'll see here with DK. I'm not sure who they will pair her with because normally this is Jaina's spot. Now, if they want to build a composition around Abathur again, that's something we could see here.
They could if they wanted to. I mean, we've seen them go Abathur even without an Illidan before in the past, so they're no stranger to that sort of pickup. But, let's see. Maybe they want to go back to more of their normal style after they're shaking up MVP Black in Game 1.
It's definitely a little bit tougher to play Abathur on this map and split push. And they're going to go Johanna Vala.
So they're a very sort of cookie cutter stunt there. Vala just an amazing range DPS in general. And Johanna, we've seen enough Johanna to know what she's all about. Just lives forever. Let's see if they have more luck than MVP Black did last game.
Let's see what Black is going to pick up here. I would expect to see that they do grab one of those highly contested tanks. They already have their healer, right? Uther first pick, one of the strongest positions you can be in Korea. Zeratul is still on the table.
Do they really want to go back there, though?
I hope not. We saw that Shadow Assault was virtually useless in that last game.
I didn't even know if it was active once. Like, I had a hard time looking at it, but it really didn't do anything regardless.
I feel like Void Prison definitely the better choice. There might have even been a mistake. They're going to grab Leoric, as he is going to be a high-tier hero for the last time, potentially with a big nerf coming, and they are going to grab Zeratul.
Gonna stick to it. All right. Well, let's see if he has a better sort of run this game. It's going to be a more, I guess, easier sort of composition to deal with, more standard, which is why we do see Zeratul so popular.
We see Black picking Zeratul very infrequently. The only time we really saw him do it was in Shenzhen, where they were actually using his Shadow Assault bug to kind of abuse the map.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And Let's see if DK wants to ban a big damage dealer here, because they've already grabbed one of each. This is why Black is so good at draft. They've got a dealer, a tank, and a healer already in their first 3 heroes.
Yeah, they got the best solo laner with Leoric, the best healer with Uther, and Zeratul, and they're going to get rid of Asmodan. All right. Well, that's interesting. Not a bad choice for the map either.
And here's that Arthas ban I was talking about, taking that away from SC, as they realize they're not building an Abathur composition. At least they don't look like they are.
Yeah.
So take Arthas away.
Certainly, don't want to deal with Arthas after a loss like that. Don't want to give SC his best hero.
He's 8-0 currently with Arthas.
Back to that Asmodan pick there. It's an interesting sort of, sorry, Asmodan ban. It's an interesting sort of hero to ban out of this sort of situation.
Sure.
It does make sense if they're worried about him there. He scales well into the late game. This map certainly goes late game.
And he does really well when paired with Johanna, because she can, just with a few of her skills, bring everyone into last hit range, so he can just go ahead and drop those globes and start to get out of control with his Q.
Yeah.
And in the late game, he becomes very strong. You can scale that very quickly on a small-ish map like this. If he stays in mid, you can rotate between top, or rather mid and bottom.
Yeah, certainly so.
A lot of thinking on this one for DK about who they want to use potentially as a secondary tank. And now that Arthas is out of the picture, we're going to grab Sylvanas first, though, for some extra damage. Not a bad pick for the map.
Yeah, fantastic pushing here. Does make sense as well. It's kind of the same theme as Asmodan in a lot of ways. You're going to be really able to push a lane fairly easily. Let's see if DK wants to pick up, I mean, their healer now and leave that last pick for perhaps a healer or a kind of a counteractive sort of pick to kind of react to exactly what Black's going to be doing.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move here for DK to grab the healer now. We're going to see Raynor and Butcher locked in, and now they can react to that with their final pick.
Yeah, that's an interesting sort of ending as well. The Butcher to close things out, and a Raynor. So they got a very scary late game.
I like a Nubarak here. It's got a lot of disruption as well as escape. I feel like you're going to have a tough time with Muradin versus this composition. Yes, he's very strong versus the Butcher, but not so much Raynor and Zeratul. And Leoric can 1v1 Muradin so well.
Yeah, they have like so much damage on MVP Black's team right now. And you look at the lockdown as well. They got a lot to deal with. So they certainly want to be going for something a little bit more tanky here. I'm sure they wish they had Arthas right now.
Yeah, they absolutely would love to have Arthas. Again, this is Black's drafting strength that everyone is talking about. Best drafting team in the world. Even DK said so in their interviews earlier. You know, saying like, we know that that's their strongest thing. We think we're good at rotations. We think we're good at surprises, but drafting, that's
Tyrael.
Black.
All right, Tyrael, that does make sense. I was about to suggest, like, maybe Tyrael is the answer here. You know, Judgment's going to work out as well. Or Sanctification could also work against such a high damage sort of composition.
I do like Sanctification in this composition. Let's see how SC wants to play it, because Judgment with an Uther on the table becomes very difficult to actually make effective. And Raynor as well is one of those heroes that, even though he's somewhat squishy because of his trait, he can actually heal back up very quickly and then, of course, be Divine Shielded and escape.
Yeah, certainly so.
Sanctification can protect against, you know, all sorts of damage that they can drop out, especially against Raynor's range damage from behind.
Yeah, you're dealing with that. You're dealing with the Butcher's Initiate as well as Zeratul's. I'm sure they're going to go Void Prison this time. I don't think they're going to be making that same mistake again. Shadow Assault.
Yeah, I think they'll be sticking with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 is on Dragonshire. We're jumping into game number 2 right here, right now, at the grand finals of the Hot 6 Heroes of the Storm Super League. Off to a fiery start already here in game 2. DK does attempt an engage with Noblesse on Johanna.
Got to be careful here. There's still a lot of damage, even this early on from MVP Black, but it looks like they're the ones that have really taken the bad exchange to start things off here. We only caught the tail end of it, unfortunately, but yeah, really nice beginning, at least for DK.
There's a lot of CC that they drop down with Johanna in the beginning of that fight that actually led to a lot of stunned, a lot of wasted DPS there in that composition from MVP Black.
No, I'm liking this a lot. Sticking together as 4, especially against this composition. They don't want to let any sort of window of opportunity come in for that Butcher initiate this early on, because it will guarantee a kill in a lane.
Yeah, and Sylvanas in the tri-lane is often what you're going to see. Sniper playing Sylvanas, yet again, one of his favorite heroes here. Oh, we're going to see another Condemn here, grabbing Sign and Kyocha. I don't think they're going to be able to follow this up, but they're just kind of trading it out. We're going to see them rotate down after this wave is cleared back to the bot lane.
Look at the melee, sort of melee-heavy composition from MVP Black. They're really paying for it this early on because so much range damage we're seeing on the side of DK.
Definitely true. Merida even going for an aggressive heal there. Ooh, Sign is going to have to walk back.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of damage this early, and I'm pretty sure they've all used their well already. So he's actually going to Hearthstone back.
And that's going to be a lot of wasted time for him to pressure, which means the lane can get bullied. Already the bot shrine is controlled here by TK. The top, not so much, but they're winning every lane, essentially. They're keeping them pushed. The top lane was the only one that was not, because obviously SC not the best at wave clear unless he wants to use all of his mana.
Yeah, he's kind of just there to survive. Like, he's there to get lane soak and survive. He's not going to be lane clearing, but he's not going to be dying either.
One of the things that you can do with, oh, hold that thought. We're going to see another engage here. Kyoja and Merida jumping in here on Jaehyun. He has to kite back. Meanwhile, MVP will temporarily control the shrine. Noblesse taking...
Kyoja getting very low as well as Merida, but looks like it's actually going to be
a 2-for-1 trade, it looks like, overall. Nothing more going to happen here. But again, Noblesse, some of the best Johanna play we've seen in Korea. Just so good at engaging, never afraid to jump in and grab a Condemn.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Envenom down on Saki. Barely survives.
Oh, that keeping him just alive, that trade. Ridiculous.
The old Envenom would have killed him for sure.
Guaranteed. And look at that, already a little bit of a lead in terms of experience, and they cap both shrines.
Lockdown wants to stop, though, at top.
Power of Zeratul, I guess.
One of the things I was going to mention before, we have constant team fighting this game, is that if you have a hero like Tyrael at the top and he controls the shrine for just a moment, like if Lockdown leaves, SC can jump on it, then he can hold against any hero 1v1 until that middle is taken.
Yeah, he might not be able to win every matchup, but he can certainly survive for at least long enough for that cap to happen.
Exactly. That's why you often see a top laner being the tank, which is a bit unusual that we see a Zeratul in the top lane right now.
Yeah. Look at this. DK actually going to be changing things up a little bit, going for that Merc camp. It's going to be able to push a lane, distract just a little bit so they can rotate a little bit easier, control the lanes a little bit more. So much action in this game so far, though.
Yeah, it's just constant fighting. Looks like the better end of the trade going to go to MVP Black this time, at least position-wise.
But look at this, Team DK nearly level 7, nearly has that talent tier advantage. And Lockdown actually getting bullied out by SC, down to half HP right now.
Oh, look at that huge Condemn here by Noblesse. Will it cost him his life? There's a huge slow as well as a life drain there from Sign.
Gonna get a revenge kill, doesn't look like it. Merida taking a little bit of damage, but not nearly enough, and put out of position.
This gives him an opportunity to actually grab top shrine. Looks like Lockdown is going to jump in there and see what he could do. SC should be able to well up and deny him, but at the same time, all these lanes continue to be pushed and cleaned up in the case of bot lane as Kyocha now moves over to take these Siege Giants.
Yeah, certainly one of the best merking heroes. The Butcher can just live forever, especially with his Butcher's brand. And we do see Noblesse back in action, but still way up the front. Can't take too much damage.
Yeah, he's got some really good condemns, but it looked like there was a little bit of a disconnect in the communication last time when he went for it. Looks like he's going to use it to wave clear this time, and MVP Black is going to jump in on this opportunity while it's on cooldown. Huge dash in here, but Noblesse will use a second condemn. Kyocha gets stunned. He has to run out.
He's taking so much damage. Everyone taking so much damage. Merida, Kyocha also low. Looks like Kyocha will be the first to go down, followed up by Sign.
What's up, SC from the top lane? Lockdown was out of the fight the entire time, not being a use to his team at all, and that was another huge second condemn there from SC. They thought they had a window, but they did not.
He's going to be trying to cap this. Shield Glare denies it for a second there. They got to decap one of these shrines, and he's actually going to get it.
He missed the condemn.
Oh, man. Well, it's going to give him a breath of fresh air and then an ability to catch up in terms of experience. It looks like Noblesse caught out once again.
Yeah, he cannot just keep YOLOing forward like this, if you will. He will escape, though, because he is Johanna. And meanwhile, Lockdown continues to push the mid. Backs off now that he's taking quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be getting too much experience from this after all. Still a pretty healthy lead for DK. going up to that level 10 nearly.
Yeah, this is a 530 Dragon Knight, so it doesn't scale that well just yet. Gotta be careful. MVP Black taking a ton of damage under cannon towers here. Gonna look for another cannon tower here at the top lane, and will get it. And that's probably gonna be about it for this Dragon Knight. 10 seconds left on it.
Kind of evening up the experience a lot more than I thought. I guess just they kind of, at this point, have to just be so defensive, DK, so they didn't find too much. It looks like MVP Black, though, going to be looking for another team fight, another gank. All 5 there, actually.
Noblesse going for that condemn. Kyoja nearly getting caught there, just narrowly escapes that.
I'm liking the condemn build as well from Noblesse. You know, he's just getting all the condemn traits. I love that.
Yeah, he's going to have an increased speed as well as reduced cooldown. Every time he hits a minion wave, it's going to be up in like 2 seconds right after that, as well as the extra damage to minions.
I mean, if you're fighting in a team fight, you're going to be throwing it out a bunch of times during a fight if you're getting multiple people.
All right, let's keep an eye on if we're going to see Sanctification here on Tyrael.
That's what it's all going to be about, and he's keeping it a question mark for now, not deciding to choose it. It's very smart, which could mean anything at this point. There's a lot of mind games going into that pick.
Same as Sign as well. You know, he absolutely... Okay, I was going to say, if he doesn't take March of the Black King,
like,
I'm going to lose it.
Oh my God, he went Entombed and I wasn't expecting it. I didn't even know if it really makes much of a difference.
Well, we saw, you know, Void Prison this time. Last time we saw something we never see.
Yeah, that was a huge blunder, I think.
We'll never even say that Shadow Assault. I don't even want to say that trait name.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see a push down here for the bot Bruisers, and they are going to take it actually for free. So they are controlling the Mercs quite well. And DK doesn't even take their own Bruisers. There's an opportunity for that to be contested with a rotation up into the mid lane.
I guess that's the power of MVP Black's composition as well. You know, it's such a scary sort of composition that very gank heavy. If they're not expecting it, they could be in a lot of trouble.
Crazy Moving leading the charge here, just doing a bit of extra damage. So you do see Searing attacks taken on Vala. Still no reveal on Tyrael's level 10 talent, his heroic talent.
Yeah, big mystery here. And you know, I wonder if that means like they're gonna wait till level 13 so the next talent tier is active and he's forced to pick up something.
Could be. That's a actually really good point.
Like maybe it's MVP Black's sort of thought pattern at this point, like, okay, he's hiding it, let's wait. Let's just wait till level 13. Then he's gonna have to pick one.
Yeah.
Unless they get forward on before then, DK might be looking for the fight early.
DK is gonna take the bot shrine, but the top is still controlled by Lockdown. They missed a whole wave of Bruisers, DK did. They never got theirs, and soon, in about 2 minutes time, as well as the bot Bruisers are gonna be up fairly soon, MVP will have the chance to get a second wave of those.
Oh, look at this. Just poking out here.
Oh, Lambda Slaughter on SC, not the best target here. And in fact, a ton of damage going down onto the Butcher Gas Retreat, a defensive Void Prison here, as well as a Divine Shield. Rainer's Raiders are active.
Oh, here we go again. Looks like Noblesse coming in from the top here. Going to be tying up everyone with the Condemn. And everyone from MVP Black getting low.
Yeah, looks like he's just going to march the Black King back to try to buy time. Sign doing what he does best, man, buying time. And he will actually go down here. At the same time, Tranquility is keeping everybody alive. They can continue this push. And overall, I feel just a big misengage. Lamb of the Slaughter going down on Tyrael.
Yeah, I guess he wanted to keep him there, but still, it's under towers. Everyone else is behind him. He's kind of the target you want to be taking the hits on as well for DK. So pretty big misplay from MVP Black, maybe showing a little bit of nerves, especially after that game one.
Sure. We also saw the Wailing Arrow came in to just silence everybody, to keep them back, and then Vala did the damage. It was a perfect storm of good for DK, of bad for MVP Black. And then Tranquility was never popped during that fight, whereas Divine Shield was. So when the follow-up engagement happened, they just had to retreat.
Yeah, I mean, when you've popped your Divine Shield that early, it's every fight beyond that is going to be so much harder until the cooldown's gone. And let's see if they're able to get a Dragon Knight cap at this point. Both sides are up and both pretty equal in level, or at least in talents. So no clear advantage here.
That's right. It looks like Lockdown is constantly harassing that top shrine. He's just going to sit on it, and they are going to control it again for a moment. And they do have these lanes pushed. They could have an opportunity here. Divine Shield is active, and that can actually just force a Dragon Knight.
Yeah, well, that is very true, actually. But it doesn't look like it's going to be the case here. Everyone kind of waiting in middle for now, at least. Actually see, looks like Noblesse up top. Going to at least try and decap that.
Looks like MVP Black basically just wants to force an engage by the capture.
It's getting so close. And here we go again. Looks like they're going to be working on SC once again.
Yep, lockdown way up here in the back, and there's Lambs of Slaughter on crazy moving this time, and he is stuck, and there's a Void Prison. Very well executed, and Noblesse was missing this entire time. He's coming down now very, very late. Let's see if he can change the fight. Gets a good condemn here, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh, they are pretty low from MVP Black. They're being forced to retreat. Looks like
and the Wailing Arrow.
Yeah, huge damage there. Great turnaround, but yeah, Noblesse was nowhere to be seen. He actually sat there and capped the top shrine instead of just decapping and moving down when the team fight broke out.
You know, it seemed like a questionable choice at the time, but it looks like with his re-engage there, it worked out. You know, the Void Prison to a certain extent bought him enough time to come back down as everyone was in stasis, and now he's going to attempt to take this. Sign will deny it. And at the same time, we do see Uther rotating up to the top. Meride is going to take that shrine.
Yeah, he needs to get back to the rest of his team, though. He's like the one hero that can't be by himself like that. He needs to be doing so much work, especially with Divine Shield and his heals. Looks like DK going to be a little bit more aggressive now, though. Be working towards these mercenary camps on the side of Black.
There's the steal here, and they're going to rotate now down potentially to take the bot bruisers. They do have that level 16 talent advantage. They're going to start picking that up now. We do see the vulnerability talent for Sylvanas, Blood for Blood.
Yeah. Nice little advantage there for DK once again. It's very short-lived this time around compared to last game as well. Nearly level 16 is MVP Black to even things up. More and more rotations. No one finding any traction. Just kind of pushing the lanes and trading and pushing the lanes again.
Pushing down this top lane. There is an opportunity just for a second for them to take the Dragon Knight, but Lockdown will again take the bot. And MVP, while he takes that bot, are going to trade this fort for a fort. It's actually going to be an even trade, which is good to do when you're down talent trait like this, especially level 16 talents, because now that they have this level 16, they can actually take a fight on even talent terms.
Oh, and look at this, seeing another team fight break out in just a second's time. Everyone in position from both sides there. It's going to be a hard fight.
All right, imposing presence coming out for Leoric as the last, as well as the stun coming out on Rainer's Q. Benediction is up for Uther, so he can actually either double stun or double heal, whatever he chooses. It looks like they're going to avoid the fight for now. Noblesse does grab this, but Lockdown will take the top. Again, he's always on those shrines. Lockdown just being very mobile.
Yeah, he does love that top shrine, that's for sure. But look at this, they are going to be trading that bottom lane for top lane again. It looks like MVP Black aren't going to let this one go. Instead, they actually found Sign to start things off here.
Sign, though, just going to try to heal out against SC. And they're trying to find an engage here. A big grouped up DK is what they find. They're not able to find an engage here. It's tough. You know, Lambda the Slaughter is what Kyocha is looking for here. He wants to find that single target.
Big condemn there, wiping out the lane. And they nearly got that.
Here comes Lockdown. He might actually have a Void Prison.
Oh, he's
Blinks in, wormholes out.
I guess just a little bit of harassment.
I think they decided that was not the moment.
Yeah, maybe not. Still, everyone kind of really spread out, so it won't be that effective. So everyone's kind of learned how to deal with Zeratul at this point, especially when it comes to Void Prison.
And even though they don't see him, they usually know where he is. We do see a stun goes down here repeatedly on Leoric, but because he's Leoric, he's out of there. Rainer's Raiders popped very early, and he's not able to find anything with it.
Yeah, big commitment there.
Huge waste.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty long cooldown, 70 seconds.
Well, I guess that's pretty much gone for the fight. Only one remains as well. It looks like they are going to re-engage here, though. Kyocha taking a bit of damage. Who's going to be the initial target?
Oh, look at that. Blessed Shield after the condemn, and they're going to go in this. They pop down Zeratul instantly, and next target here is going to be a Butcher. Divine Shield comes up, but there's a good Tranquility. And look at this again. Noblesse is chasing.
Yeah, he's stuck completely. He got surrounded by the teams despite having that Divine Shield, and that's 2 for nothing. Zeratul completely caught out there.
And again, Zeratul proving to be a fairly useless pickup in these Korean League games.
He's really just being figured out at this point. He's just not finding any traction whatsoever. So very unfortunate there. And maybe they can even cap a Dragon Knight from this. It's still a long time before Zeratul or the Butcher are back.
I think they're just going to rotate right for it. There's no way that bot will be denied. And with this big push here, no one's in the middle as well.
Wow, I guess they're just going to go for the keep. I mean, they do have Sylvanas after all.
Well, Noblesse does cap top, and they can actually rotate right into the middle now and take that Dragon Knight, and I think that's exactly what they're going to go for.
Here they go now, all rotating to that mid. Noblesse staying up top for a little while longer. And it looks like there might be a team fight in mid, but the Butcher is going to be very late to this fight.
Exactly, he's very far missing. Zeratul is up, his Void Prison is available. Sign gets Blessed Shield, and he barely escapes here. There's the Void Prison.
He's going to try and get his health back with the March of the Black King. Here we go, everyone's splitting up.
Everyone splits perfectly against Sign, and down he goes. Divine Shielded Butcher does run in, but it's not going to be enough. Lockdown coming in from behind, trying to grab Crazy moving, but look at that speed in which he retreats. He does go down, but
Lockdown with the wormhole, going to be juking. Can he actually get out alive? I think he's completely stuck here, and down he goes again.
That was a really good move there by Lockdown. He nearly grabbed Sniper, but it's not going to be good enough, and now barely Sake is able to decap that for a moment.
Wow, just a delay, just a little bit here. But now it's level 20 to 18. Storm Talons are active for DK once again. And it looks like Sake is actually going to get picked off as well, letting him be able to retreat home.
Yeah, pretty ambitious to try to stop that capture down there, and he gets caught.
16-minute Dragon Knight means certainly going to mean at least one keep from this, if not more.
They're both, you know, both keeps here are taking a lot of damage. The one in the middle finally pushed away, top. But we have level 20 talents now, which means indestructible on Noblesse, which is his favorite thing. Down goes this keep. He's just going to go ahead and kick away Kyocha as well. Now they can rotate into mid, finish up that fort, and then push down into that keep with 45 seconds still remaining on this Dragon Knight.
Yeah, look at the level of survivability on Team DK now. They got 2 Bolts of the Storm with their vulnerable characters. They got Storm Shield on the Malfurion. They have so much survivability. It's going to be such a hard team fight until MVP Black get to that level 20 as well.
Don't forget Sanctification is still available.
I mean,
and that's just
they're just going to live forever. There's no way they can kill this team at this point, not with this composition. Such a hard counter, such a great sort of counter pick play from TK in this game. They've really figured out MVP Black once again.
Well, here comes Kyocha. He's trying to find something. Noblesse still doing damage here despite the Shrink Ray. Down goes the keep. Here comes Rainer's Raiders, and Lockdown is looking for that Void Prison. Not able to find it. Noblesse will live forever. Do not worry.
Yeah, he can live forever. He can be no matter, it doesn't actually matter where he is, he will live. And they're going to keep clearing the lane. Uh-oh, they've identified Lockdown. He's going to have to waste his blink.
All right, good disengage there, though. And it looks like they're just going to rotate into taking these Siege Giants. They might get both Siege Giant camps and then get the bottom Bruisers and then rotate to defend their own. All lanes except top are pushed currently, so they don't have to worry about vision. In fact, they're going to go for an offensive Bruiser steal. They're actually going to try to deny this.
Yeah, this makes sense. I mean, they have so much bully power. Any team has so much bully power when they have such a lead in experience, and not even Storm talents they have to worry about from MVP Black. When you have that lead, that talent advantage, the game is so in favor of you.
Well, as you can see, they're going to just rotate now into their own Bruisers. And they're waiting for the Shrines to come active. During this time where there's no other objective on the map, they're going to grab every single Merc camp they can, even splitting their heroes into 2 groups so they can take the Bruisers and the Siege Giants at the same time. And the reason why they have this flexibility is not really because of their 2-level lead, it's mostly because the lanes are so pushed that it forces MVP Black to defend. If they don't, they're going to lose their mid-keep or, even start to lose some of their Nexus health as the mid-keep is now completely destroyed. Yeah,
with their mercenary camps being taken away from them, they really have a hard time pushing these lanes and kind of taking back map control, at least for this period of time. And looks like they're going to have to try and break out with a big team fight, but looks like DK are going to be looking for the initiate here.
Oh, look at the position here. Basically perfect. Lamb of the Slaughter does come down, but there's a Void Prison. And look at the Tranquility plus Storm Shield and Sanctification. Nobody is dying on DK today.
No
perfect
way.
Black March of the Black King, but it's not going to matter. He's all alone. No one to back him up.
So much damage done to him. He's barely survives, but look at that. Bolt of the Storm forward from SC moving, finishes the job.
Yeah, Bolt of the Storm into a vault, into goodbye, Leoric. And
So
now
much damage.
they can actually just push the top lane into the keep if they want. They can continue to push mid. Raynor does now have his Nexus Frenzy, which makes him much more of a powerhouse, but you need a good engage, and actually looks like they're just going to take Dragon Knight. Both Shrines are capped.
Yeah, this makes sense as well. Just safer way to win, solidify that objective. I mean, it is a almost 20-minute Dragon Knight at this point. It's going to really favor the next team fight as well. Looks like actually going to see MVP Black go for it. They nearly got the damage done. And
Yeah, they take out Vala. Storm Shield went down just a second too late, but down goes the Butcher for it. A 1-for-1 trade, and now they can just continue to push this. Sniper is in a Dragon Knight, and you know what that means? He just does an insane amount of damage to structures. If they can just get to that core, it's as good as dead.
Oh, they're going to be actually losing Malfurion as well, so turning things around actually at this point, and I'm not too surprised, especially when you got a Raynor at level 20. He just does so much damage.
Yeah, and even funny enough, part of that fight, he was like autoing the minions to make sure the pot wasn't being pushed. He turns on it for a second. You see how fast that fight changes.
Yeah, they're 2 of the weakest characters. Just going to get blown up by a Zeratul and Raynor. It won't take long at all. Not to mention when you got a Butcher there as well. You got to be careful at this point.
Yeah, he does not want to get too far ahead. He is trying to make the most use of this Dragon Knight, trying to Just cue another wave, keep it pushed back, keep the core constantly under the threat of being killed by mercs and siege camps alone, rather siege minions. Because if you have that threat on your opponent constantly, it means you have so much more flexibility on the shrines.
Noblesse, got to be careful here. Take a lot of damage. And the thing to note as well, this late into the game, if you lose a big team fight, either side, you could simply lose your core. It's getting out of hand to that point where there's so much damage on both sides. The pushing power is there. It's bad. If you take that bad team fight, you can lose the game.
And that's why I don't think we're going to see DK all in the core at this point in time. You know, it's just too risky. Looks like Lockdown is waiting to set a trap, and Noblesse is going to find him. He could actually, probably could have condemned there and caught him, but just barely not, just out of range, decides not to.
Yeah. Better to play it safe at this point, I think. Both sides going to probably play a little bit more safe when it comes to initiations, engagements. All it's going to take is a bad team fight for MVP Black to lose the game, but DK cannot risk getting a team wipe and then opening up the map to MVP Black as well.
Yeah, they might be able to win off of this. We're nearly getting to 22 minutes here. Now, we're going to have a big fight over these bot bruisers in just a moment here. That's why everyone is rotating down to the bot lane where these mercs are pushing as well. Okay, here we go. This is going to be it. Lockdown looking for that Void Prison. Not a very good one here. Wailing Arrow, though, does connect. Butcher does get Divine Shielded. And Tranquility keeping most members alive. This is a big problem here for MVP Black, as now Sign is very low, and Sake gets caught as well as Meride.
Big turnaround here. Sign looks like going to be the next target. Oh, hold on a second. Rainer, but everyone else so low.
It's going to be a full wipe.
Pretty much an entire team wipe from here. Sign got out of this with a March of the Black King, but they're just going straight to the core.
Yep, this is going to be game over here in game 2. Look at Noblesse, he's so happy right now, and they have taken the win. Easily will wipe this core at 23, or 22 and a half minutes, level 23 into this game. This core is not going to be able to survive.
Nope, no
Sanctification
way.
Keeping these heroes alive as they just push it down.
Why not at this point? Yeah, there's no way they're not killing this core, not with the everywhere else on the map coming crashing in as well. And another dominant game from DK.
Starting to be a bit of an upset here. DK leading